Welcome to another edition of 4 and 4. I'm Kathy Halgren, Director of South St. Paul Public Library, and this month I have 4 great summer reads to tell you about. My first book came out late last year, but I finally got a chance to read it, and it was worth the wait. Jayne and Phillips' Quiet Dell proves that while we may have scammers and predators on online dating sites, they were alive and well in the 1930s when Lonely Hearts Club services flourished and lured some women to their demise. This book is based on the actual case of Asta Eicher, a lonely widow in need of companionship and financial support for her 3 children. She begins receiving letters from a Cornelius Pearson of West Virginia, who appears to be considerate, noble, and exactly what she's looking for. He comes to Illinois and the two go off together, which seems so odd to me as I was reading this, and then he's back for the children. It seems Pearson is a serial killer, hunting middle-aged women for their money, but this time he came up empty. The story unfolds to the investigation of Emily Thornhill, a journalist from Chicago who takes more than just a professional interest in the family and those who knew them, and is determined to report accurately the situation in the town of Quiet Dell as Pearson, who is also known as Harry Powers, is brought to justice. The novel is peppered with photos from newspaper accounts of the time, such as this series of photos where Cornelius is shown as having various aliases in a variety of states. This author knows how to make you care about her characters, and I thought about them long after I finished the book. Well done, Miss Phillips. If you're up for a local interest book, look no further than Mary Relindes Ellis's The Bohemian Flats. Although the book opens with the main character in London recuperating during World War I, the first part of the novel takes place along the Mississippi on the strip of land most commonly known as Bohemian Flats in Minneapolis. I believe this is close by the new location of the Guthrie Theater and the I-35 bridge collapse nearly 7 years ago. At only 16, Raymond arrives in the New World from Germany in 1896, settling in Minneapolis by the mills where he acquires a job. Through Raymond and his other immigrant neighbors, we learn how they all came to America to have a chance at determining their fate rather than living under the cultural mores and class structure of their original homelands. He learns to enjoy the chaos of creativity in this impoverished section of Minneapolis, which is in sharp contrast to the world of his strict father who expected him to become a priest and follow German tradition. When his brother and sister-in-law arrive, they end up moving to northern Wisconsin to pursue their dream of owning land as they learn of various cultures that preceded them. While the writing is rather pedestrian, this book does a great job of exploring what it was like to be a German in America and in Europe primarily during the first part of the 20th century. Much more to my liking is Nicole Helget's Stillwater. Helget spins a tale about trappers, priests, nuns, the Underground Railroad, Native Americans, logging, twins separated at birth, and much more within the town along the mighty St. Croix. It contains 4 parts titled Sinners, Mothers, Orphans, and Myths, and takes place over 40 years in the 1800s. The book opens with a log jam on the river, and you're introduced to Clement Piety, who fled the Civil War, currently working as a river pig, guiding logs. He's had a tough life, though he's smart and practical, since he has to be. His twin sister Angel has her own troubles of a different sort. She's married to a wealthy lumber baron and doesn't want her humble origins from the orphanage discovered. Having reached the top of society, there are many who want to see her fall, and she barely survived her childhood due to her adoption. What I liked about this book is that it's told almost like a fable or a fairy tale. Unexpected things occur without much explanation, but it seems that life often is like that. And it's clear the author is having fun with the characters and language. There have been a lot of books written lately about the Underground Railroad and slavery. If you want something a little different from the norm while learning about the history of Stillwater and its wild past, this just might be your book. Finally, Ayelet Waldman's Love and Treasure is one of those rare books where you're given a glimpse into a family's current situation and you can't wait to hear the backstory. The novel opens with Jack's granddaughter Natalie arriving in Maine to help him through his final days of pancreatic cancer. She's at loose ends since her hasty marriage has totally fallen apart and she needs a little tender loving care too. When Jack tells her about a locket with an unknown history, her interest is piqued and she again finds purpose in her life as she takes off for Hungary. You see, Jack was in World War II, and one of his assignments involved the famous Hungarian gold train, which contained stolen riches from Jews. While guarding and cataloging the train's contents, Jack meets Ilona, a woman who introduces us to the realities of all the displaced persons in the aftermath of the war. There have been a lot of novels written about the Holocaust. This one is different and presents many sides to the situation. The prose is wonderful, and I learned a lot about the issues surrounding the end of the war and those desperate to find a place to call home. That's all for this edition of 4 in 4. See you in August with 4 more titles in 4 minutes.